everybody, welcome back to Crochet by Landry. I thought this week would be a little bit more interesting and different, that we would go kind of back to basics with learning and refining and perfecting some of the stitches that we've been doing over the last little while. And I thought it would just be interesting just to go back and even just go over 3 different stitches, just to kind of teach you the different ways or just help you learn a little bit better. Or for those of you just tuning in, this is a way to learn some new stitches that I've been talking about the last few weeks or the last few months that we've been learning to crochet. So grab your favorite hook, whichever one you're most comfortable with. And again, the yarn you're also most comfortable with. No desired hook size. I'm going to be using a 5.5mm hook and just a size 4 worsted weight yarn. It's what I'm most comfortable with. And let's learn how to do the half double, double, and treble crochets. Okay, so let's start going back to basics here. So back to basics means you just grab the hook that you're most comfortable with. This one I'm using is a 5.5mm hook, and I actually bought it off of Amazon, and it's my favorite hook. And I'm just going to use a regular worsted weight yarn, nothing fancy. If you're using a thicker yarn, then you may want to use a bigger hook. So I'm just going to start by doing a slip knot. And then we'll just start with a regular chain. I'm just going to do a couple. I'm not going to do a very long chain. I may just go, let's say maybe 10 or 8. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 8. And then when you're doing your chain, just make sure that your tension is even and that you're not pulling too hard or being way too loose, because your stitches or your chain will be all over the place. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do what's called a half double crochet, and I'm going to go into the second chain from my hook, which is the loop doesn't count. That's one that's on your hook. So you're going to use the next one after that. Now, to do a half double crochet is you yarn over your hook. So it looks like you've got 2 on your hook. You're going to go in the next, and you're going to pull up 1 loop, and see, you've got 3 on your hook now. And then to complete that stitch, you're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. That is called a half double crochet. So then it's again, yarn over, insert the hook into your next stitch, pick up a loop till you have 3 on your hook, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 on your hook. So then you can kind of see what it looks like as you go down. As you go down your chain or your whatever you're working on, because you could do a half double crochet for many different reasons, whether you're making a blanket or you're making a hat or even making a stuffed animal like a plushie or something. You can do it for many different reasons. There you go. And when you're done a chain of half double crochets, this is kind of what it should look like. So I've got 7 stitches now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then to do another row of half double crochets, you're probably going to want to chain at least 2 before you start the next row. So then when you turn your work, and you're going to go depending on what you're doing, you can either go into the stitch that's directly attached to where you chained out of, or you go into the next one, depending on what you're working on. But we're just practicing, so I'm just going to go in right where I started, and I'm just going to yarn over again, insert my hook at the base of where I chained. I'm going to bring up a loop. So I have 3. And then I'm going to yarn over and pull through all 3 of those loops. And I'm just going to keep going all the way down. And this is just for practice. We're just getting back to basics to refine our stitches, refine our work, be able to make better things, and even make them more quickly. So now when you get to the end of your row, you're going to notice that it's kind of on a slump. So it's kind of like on an angle a bit. So you want to yarn over, and it's going to be right here. So it's kind of on a slouch a little bit. So you want to just make sure you're picking up those stitches or those 2 loops that are right here from the previous row. And then again, yarn over, pull up a 3rd loop, and then all 3 stitches. Okay, so that's the half double crochet. Now let's cut this yarn and start a new one to learn a double crochet. So after we just did the half double crochet, let's work on doing a double crochet. So it's going to be the same thing. We start with a slip knot, get a decent chain going. This one I'm going to do maybe 10 stitches just to make it a little longer. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Because with a double crochet, you always want to go in the 3rd chain from your hook. So you're going to skip not 1, but 2. So 1, 2, and then in the 3rd chain, you're going to do kind of what we did for the half double crochet is yarn over, insert your hook in the 3rd chain from your hook, pull up a loop. So you have 3 again, but instead of pulling through all 3 loops, you're going to yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops till you still have 2 on your hook, and then yarn over again and pull through all the remaining 2 loops. So then you'll notice that your stitch is a little taller than the previous stitch you did, which was the half double crochet. So you're going to yarn over again, insert it into the next stitch, pull up your 3rd loop, then you're going to yarn over, and you're going to hear pull through 2, and then pull through the last 2. And then you just keep going until you reach the end of your row. Remember, taking your time, going at a speed that's comfortable for you. You don't have to speed through. It's not too complicated. You just got to take your time. Okay, and then you get to the last chain. And then when you're done, it should look something like this. So you'll notice that the stitches are a little bit taller than the half double crochet stitches. Okay, now when you're doing a second row of when you're using a double crochet, instead of chaining 2, you may need to chain either 2 or 3 depending on what you're doing. You may need an extra stitch as a turning chain and so on. I'm just going to chain 2 just to kind of get the height. So, and it's going to be the same thing as before. Yarn over, insert your hook at the base, pull up a loop, then it's yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And you're just going to do that again until you reach the end. And you could just sit here and just practice your double crochet, practice your half double crochet, and just keep going until you've gotten comfortable enough with it. Oops. I'm just pulling through 2. And you may hear that a lot with some different videos where it's yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2. It just means you're pulling through only 2 loops at a time to get the desired stitch that you're looking for. And just like the half double crochet, you'll notice that your final stitch is on kind of a slant. So just making sure you're paying attention and not skipping it, because then your piece won't look either square or symmetrical to what you're doing. And that's the double crochet. Now let's learn a new stitch, which is going to be called the triple crochet or treble. So let's get ourselves ready to learn the treble crochet. Okay, so let's learn a different stitch, and that's called either the triple or the treble crochet. And I'll put the words up on the screen for all the stitches so you know what the abbreviations are for both for patterns. So I'm just going to do a chain of maybe 10, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 10. That should be long enough for what we need. Now, when you're doing a treble crochet, you may need the extra height because it is a taller stitch than normal. So I'm going to be going into the 4th chain from my hook to get the desired height to match the height of the stitch. So when you're yarning over, you're going to yarn over not once, but 2 times, because then it'll look like you have 3 loops on your hook. Then you're going to go into the 4th stitch and you're going to pull up a 4th loop. So then you'll see that there's 4 different loops on my hook now. And what you want to do now is you're going to yarn over and pull through 2, then pull through another 2, and then pull through the final 2 stitches. Then you're going to notice that your chain that you didn't go into those other stitches is roughly the same height as your stitch. So then to go and do another treble crochet, you're going to do it again. So yarn over twice, go into the next stitch, pull up a 4th loop. Then it's going to be yarn over and pull through 2, pull through 2, and pull through 2. Okay, and then again, don't forget to yarn over twice before you're going into the next space, because you need to have at least 4 loops on your hook to create the treble crochet. Okay. There we go. And this is the treble crochet. This isn't used very often. It's only used, I think, when you get when you're doing something that needs the height versus the stitch. Now see, I didn't do the double, the two times. I didn't wrap 2 times, so I've got to back up, wrap it twice, and pull through 2, pull through 2, and pull through 2. Then wrap it twice, and pull through 2, pull through 2, and pull through 2. Now you can see the major height difference between doing a double crochet and a treble crochet. So the treble is a much taller stitch than all of the stitches that you've done. Now to do a second row of treble crochets, you are going to need to chain at least 3, possibly 4, depending on what you're doing. I'm just going to stick with 3 because that's working for me right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to yarn over again twice to get that height for the stitch. Then I'm going to pull up my 4th loop, and I'm going to yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, and pull through 2. And I'm just going to keep going until I go to the end like I did before. Wrap twice, pull up a loop, pull through 2, pull through 2, and pull through 2. I'm just going to keep going. And like I said, you can just keep going back and forth, creating row after row of either half double crochets, double crochets, trebles. You can do a single crochet as well, going back and forth, just practicing your tension, practicing making sure you're doing it as accurate as you can. So every time you make something, it'll be roughly the same tension or the same size. Your tension can also be either tighter or looser depending on your mood as well. So if you're frustrated or you're happy or relaxed, your tension will vary as well. And there is your treble crochet. So I'm just going to cut it so you can see. Put all three next to each other. So there's the treble, there's the double, and then there is the half double. So you can see the difference in height between the three of them. The treble is definitely the tallest out of the three sets, and depending on what you're making, you may need a variation of these stitches. I know I've made a few things and they've had a different variation of stitches to get the different size or height that you would need. And that's it for today, everybody. We learned how to do a half double, a double, and a treble crochet today, or we just relearned or learned how to make it better or perfect it in some way. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button and a notification bell for more content coming next week. And I'll see you guys next Friday for more crochet fun.